Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone. It is time to discuss our April book, which was Black Wings Beating by Alex London. I fucking love this book. I've made everyone else read it. I've been campaigning for this to be a Faes and Gaze pitch since we started because I love it. And I'm very excited. So, shall we, as always, start with non-spoilery ratings and thoughts? And to anyone here, will be non-spoilery for like 10-15 minutes, then probably delve into spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go first?
Cool. Sandra, do you want to go?
I can go.
Someone go.
I don't know why I look so scared, but yeah, I had already read this like in August 2019, I think, but I had kind of forgotten everything, so it wasn't like I was gonna say boring to read it again, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time a lot, and I think I enjoyed it this time like a lot too. But like I think parts that I disliked, I would say I dislike more now than then. But yeah, but like I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, so it's not like bad at all. Like I enjoyed it for the most part. Just like some small things that were a bit like, but yeah,
yeah, I get it. So I loved it. I'm still teetering on between a 4.5 and a 5. Maybe the live show will we're trying to think, but I absolutely loved it. The first 100 pages was a little slow. I was trying to figure out where everything was going, but once it started going, and I was just going. Ooh, it was going. It was but it's very good. Loved it. That was my only complaint. Really, was that it was a little slow at the beginning. That was my only complaint.
Oh, I'm so happy. I think I'm going with a 4.5. I gave it 5 when I first read it, but it just. I feel like partially because I'm so tired at the time, nothing hits 5 stars at the moment because I'm just like, I don't know, I'm tired. But it was brilliant. Like, I think the second half, I was like, maybe not quite a 5, but the beginning with the writing, I was just like, it's so beautiful. It's so well written. And I'm just really, really thrilled about this. You guys didn't see it just before we went live. Sandra and I have been in our chat like, yeah, we gave it 4, 4.5, whatever. This one down here has been not telling us what she rated it. So I'm sat here assuming she's given it 2 stars and hated it. And I'm very, very excited right now because Cecilia liked it. And I feel like you don't like anything, and I'm so nervous.
I literally do it every month where I'm like, I'm just got to wait to the very end because no one knows what I'm going to think.
Like, I love that you both just assume that Cecilia hates everything.
Everyone just assumes that I hated it.
We were saying ever since City we became, where everyone was like, yeah, 4, 4, 5. And then City was like, 1, worst thing ever. We just get so nervous about her ratings now.
No one ever. I'm always surprising. That's funny. What is this?
3 stars. Oh, so good. And I've never read Peter Dickinson, so I don't know the comparison, unfortunately.
Same. I'm like, who is
I
that?
have no clue. I was like, is that Emily Dickinson's brother or something?
I've never read Emily Dickinson either.
Same.
But yeah, no, the reason I love this book so much is the writing. I think the writing is so gorgeous throughout the whole thing. It's just lyrical and beautiful, and it's the epitome of like, I don't even know if it is, but to me it feels like it's set in like a really cold setting. I don't think it is until they're like up in the mountains, but it feels like it. And the whole way through it just feels so atmospheric and like you feel like you are there. It just really brings you into it.
And it's really interesting that you feel like you are there, because I feel like at first you don't really get, I don't know how to describe it, but like you don't really get like really deep descriptions of like how everything looks like. Yeah. But like the atmosphere of your writing, you kind of get a clear picture anyway. And I think that's really strong considering it, like you don't get like every single detail of like the painting on the houses or something like that. But like you get like a super clear picture in your head. And I keep like imagining in my head like a TV show, and I think it could look like really well on TV, like the opening scene with like Bryson fighting, and then like you see how like that's the first scene kind of opening, and you immediately hooked and like what is going on right now, and it will be so cool.
Come on,
I've not actually finished. I've not actually finished watching Shadow and Bone yet, but that vibe TV show for this would just
it's
so well.
I think so.
Also, this is a good point. Very quick premise.
Oops, we just skipped.
Oops. Sorry. I'm just really excited. You did not see the celebration that happened when Cecilia said it was almost a 5-star. Like, I don't think you understand how excited I am right now.
It was hilarious. I loved it.
But premise. So this follows Bryson and Kylie, who are twins, and they live in a world where falconry is really important, and people have like an affinity to birds. And if you can train birds and sell birds, it's really good. And they have been left with huge debt that their father died before paying off. And so they are trying to pay off this really, really awful debt, and accidentally, kind of ish, because Bryson's stupid, get themselves embroiled in a bit of a plan to go on a mission to find something called the ghost eagle, which is like this mythical bird which just kills everyone that tries to find it. And so, 16-year-old Bryson's like, you know what? I'll find it. And yes. So yes, it's brilliant. And I've seen a lot of people in Discord saying like, oh, I don't get the falconry. You don't need to get falconry. I just found it interesting to find out about. I know nothing about birds nor falconry.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. At the beginning, I was like, at first, I was like, there was a lot of just like throwing out like falcon and like random bird terms. And I'm like, whoa, I have no clue. But it gets better as you go through. I think it's just at first, it's kind of overwhelming the amount of like bird knowledge it throws at you. And you're like, whoa. But once you get through past that a little bit, it gets better.
Yeah, like once they go out, like from the village, that's when it's like, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I find it really interesting because I don't feel like I found it too overwhelming at the beginning, but at the same time, this is a reread for me, so I feel like that probably helped because I kind of knew what I was getting into. But I feel like the biggest reason I don't find it slow at the beginning or any of this that most people say is because my favorite thing is the characters. The relationships and the characters in this book, I think, are just top tier. Like, especially Bryson and Kylie's sibling relationship, I can't cope with. It's so good. I just love it.
It is really good. I like it. And I don't have like siblings like that. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, is this how it's like?
No. No. I love that I was just no. I want
like no.
I don't know. Maybe for Maddie it is. Who knows?
I feel like not really, but I also just like, I feel like in a lot of books, you either have siblings who hate each other and end up reconciling, or like have loved each other their whole lives. And this really did both sides of that. Like, yes, there is an unconditional love, but they also have a lot of tension for a lot of very good reasons and some really stupid reasons. And it's just kind of like trying to weave its way through all of that, which felt very realistic and very complex and developed, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. It's like they both have trauma that's linked to each other and they're trying to work through it. But, since it's like their trauma is worked through the other person, they're like, we can pretty much that.
That sound.
That's the only way I know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, not quite. I feel like he's quite intelligent. Mild. He's just really reckless.
Yeah.
Like,
what is Himbo?
Reckless.
Himbo is like strong, but like kind of golden retriever energy. Where it's like strong but dumb. I was gonna say Niall is more himbo than Bryson.
Oh, Niall's a himbo.
Niall's a himbo, easily.
Niall's strong himbo energy.
Well, I would say that Bryson is just a tortured. No, yeah, like I said, disaster gay. That's the best way I could describe him.
He's just a disaster gay.
Yeah, pretty much. He was like, I'm gonna do love.
So that's what I was going to say. He is a lovesick disaster gay, which is not a good combination.
He's probably like lovesick because of his upbringing. He didn't get much love. So yeah.
Daddy issues to the max.
Yeah, bro really needs a hug.
Just a hug and therapy. That's what Bryson needs.
I mean, I feel like everyone in this book does, but I feel that's pretty standard for fantasy at this point.
Everyone needs a therapist.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
let's see.
Just,
trying to think.
That might be an interesting question. So, do you have like a favorite character through the whole thing?
Favorite character?
Not that I can remember any character names because I'm rubbish.
Me sitting here.
I wrote mine down because I didn't want to forget.
See, I didn't even do that.
I think my favorite character was Sarah, the bird. Like,
okay,
is it allowed to have a bird as a favorite character?
Yeah, sure.
She is cool.
I like her, and I think it's interesting to see, because of the end, where she will be in the next book.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie's
remember how
like,
the hell this ends. I read this like 2.5 weeks ago. My brain is not.
we can say it in the spoiler section.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll get into spoilers soon.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I don't know. I really like Jawin.
I was about to say Jarwin's my favorite. Yeah.
Who was Jarwin? Was that like the?
Can't really say that until spoiler section.
Oh no, I think I know. I just wrote
comes in like
down all the
halfway through the book,
characters.
that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I know. I like him too. It's probably like my fave after the bird.
Your fave human character.
Yeah.
No, Bryson has a real special place in my heart because I just like want to protect him, and Kylie just is just bloody kick ass. I just love her. Niall's adorable. Damien can go die in a ditch.
Literally go die in a ditch. Literally.
Please. Just Vivian was in. Is Vivian who I'm thinking of? Is this like the spy kind of character?
Yeah, and then
she was cool.
helped.
Yeah. She was cool, but like one of those people you're like, I like you, but I really can't trust you, and I have to be on like edge. You know what I mean? Like I have to be on like my tippy toes every time I talk to you.
Yeah, 100%.
She was like, yeah, but she was still cool. I like her. She was cool. Yeah.
Right. I feel like we can probably start getting into spoilers because it's quite long to get into spoilers. I don't know what to ask today. Does anyone have anything they want to just jump straight in with?
I really want more of like the Kartami and the Altari, which is like the two factions. Like one of them believes they wanted wait, like the Altari thought that humans taming birds was a sin. And then the others, the Kartami, I think they just want to like kill all the birds. It was either something like that. And like I feel like we got like the snippets of those like in between, like what's it called? Like in between when we change perspectives. And I think it would be interesting to see like that conflict like explode in the next two books, basically.
Yeah, I think it will become much more of a central point because obviously they were trying to sow the seeds of this like division in this book, but the actual plot of the first book has nothing to do with that. So it's going to be really interesting seeing that come through. I've obviously not read the sequels yet. I am planning to read them over the coming months, but from people I've seen who've read them, everyone says like book 2 and 3 are like so much better than book 1. So I'm very excited considering how much we all liked book 1.
Okay.
But apparently they just get even better, which slightly scares me though when I like a book people say they get better because I'm like, is it going to be a different kind of book that I won't like as much?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. It should get really interesting. I feel like it's going to get quite political, which is interesting for YA.
Yeah, I think so too.
And also, like in the end, you know, Kylie went to like the Sky Tower, so and they are not together anymore. So we like gonna be in like different parts. Maddie's like, what the heck are you talking about?
I was like, did I finish this book?
I mean, like she went to the Sky Tower to learn about her powers.
Yeah.
And then he stayed behind, like Bryson. And then so like they're gonna be like separated. So they're not gonna be together anymore. So then like the stories will like I think be important, but like what's it called? Like separate. And like in the first book they are together the whole time. Almost. Yeah. So I think that will also be really cool to see. I'm just talking about the sequel. I'm not even talking about this book.
No, but I think that this book really set it up well for that, especially those two different perspectives, and the third, which was just I can't explain exactly what the third perspective was that we got after each of their sections, but
it was just like random people.
I'm just random politics. That's all I'm gonna talk
about.
Yeah.
Random things like we're doing this, we're waiting for her. Like that's evil. Like that's all I can think of.
It's definitely set up really well for a sequel. I'm really intrigued to see what the second book's going to be like for me, considering how much I love their sibling relationship if they're separated. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of YA books, specifically in the second book, separate the two main characters. I don't know why. I see that a lot. I feel like that's kind of like its own little trope. Like, let's just separate them and then we'll come back in the third and beat the bad guy. And I feel like
such a thing.
It is such a thing. I
think it's to like develop characters separate from each other. So like they're not like I guess dependent on each other and then like have their separate thing. And then when they come together again, like, oh, they changed and now they can do this. And the other characters like, oh, gasp. Kind of, yeah.
Like, you've changed. Like,
Yeah.
In a whole book.
I feel like, and I have no reasoning for this, I feel like just the way the book feels, that it's somewhere towards the end of book 2, we're going to have like not heard from Kylie for a while, and then Bryson will be in trouble and she'll just like appear with new powers. And it'll just be like, dun, dun. I don't know. I just feel like that's the vibe.
I feel like we need a kind of scene like that where like she appears and then she can do a lot of cool
she like
things.
flies in on a bird and she's like, "What's up?"
Oh yeah, that was the thing with the magic system. Like it wasn't like really focused on the magic, but like it still felt like so fantasy. I don't know how to describe it. So I'm really curious to see like the language that Kylie speaks and how she learns more about it. And the ghost eagle could kind of like enter their minds and like made them see like what they feared the most or hated the most or whatever. Like it made them like say things, like the worst things they could say to each other. And I wonder if she can like use that power on other people. Like, oh, my hand is glowing. Sorry, I got distracted.
That is going to be really interesting. And I agree with what you say. Like, it feels very mystical and fantastical, but like, I've not actually Googled it. I keep meaning to. Like, I think most of the birds we come across are like real birds, other than like the ghost eagle and the magic. So it's kind of this weird dichotomy between really fantastical and actually just kind of weirdly real.
Yeah, I would say for a lot of the book, it just kind of feels like we're in the wilderness with birds, and like, you know what I mean. That's really the most we get until we get it roughly about halfway through the book, and we're like, oh, there actually is a little magic.
It's actually funny. Sorry.
Go.
But no, I just thought like the ghost eagle. I don't know. I imagine it like I felt like it was like a huge bird, like literally like ginormous. And then I just like carried it on the backs, and I was just like, wait a moment.
You're like, he's the size of a regular eagle.
But carried on their backs with its like parts of its body dragging on the ground because it's so huge. Like it is.
Oh, I thought it was like on their back. Like
it was like in a cage on the back, and I was like,
oh no, I think it's like feet are dragging because it's that big.
You think? So?
I think it's like big.
We need a picture. Someone do fan art. We need to know. Someone make a TV show. We need to know how it was carried, because I just thought it was enormous, and I was just like, yeah, carrying it, and I was just like, okay.
It confused me because I felt like they caught the ghost eagle very quickly, and I was like, all this hype for the
yeah,
like,
same. They caught it really easily.
And like, that is my one criticism. Is it was
really easy. Like it was just like here's a distraction. Okay, here I threw one word at him and boom, caught. It's like that's 2 seconds, like half a chapter. Thought it was ostrich size.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like it was wrapped like this, and then like
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, and then it's like on his back, kind of, but it can't move.
You say bigger than the average eagle.
So
I'll just go with that. We'll go with that. Yeah, it works.
The thing I would be really intrigued to know more about is I can't remember what they're called now. But basically, what Jowan is, like the weird, icy thing. Like where they drink sap from the trees.
Right.
And I don't know what, but some mystical. I feel like that needs a bit more explanation. And also, what's going to happen now that Bryson has kind of partially turned into that maybe-ish.
No, I think they said that he needed to like adjust, like drink more over time for it to actually affect him.
But they did. But then I swear we saw like hints of him potentially having some side effects from it, and I'm like.
Yeah, we did, and they did said that like once Jawed gave Bryson some of his blood, he was like, they were like, oh, you guys are like bound together now, and I'm like, bound together? Is there going to be a romance between them? That's where my brain.
Yes, of course it's going to be.
There's already a romance.
There's already a
romance, but
like after
deeper, it's going to go deeper. That's what I meant. We're like at that moment, there was like a little bit, but not. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but that was because he was still hooked on Damien. But did Damien fall off a cliff or die, or was that someone else?
I
thought that was
it.
It was him, right?
I realized this when I said earlier he can get into a ditch and die. I didn't mean it because it happened. And I said, I was like, I think that's actually how the book ended.
Yeah, I got so confused. I was like, Maddie, that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
I was just doing it in like the general sense of, they can go die in a ditch. But then I was like, oh, wait.
He did actually go die in a ditch.
He did that. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I got a bit pissed at Bryson at times. I thought he was really reckless, so I got a bit annoyed at him. But I do think he's like a really flawed character because it makes sense that he is like this, especially after everything he went through, etc. But like, it was kind of a bit annoying. And I do think like I like Kylie more just because of this, because I thought like she had to do basically everything and Bryson was just being an idiot. But I do also think that builds up to him like what's it called, developing further, because we are humans and we make mistakes. You can't be perfect from the beginning. So yeah,
I completely agree. Seeing like his backstory and his like need to please and need to be helpful makes so much sense. But my only thing was like when he'd then take credit for things that Kylie did, and I was like, at least admit when it's not a thing you did.
Yeah.
Like,
because he just wanted to seem like he's like, I'm not worthless. I did at least something. So let me at least take credit for something I kind of participated in. You know what I mean? That's what I got from him. He was just like, let me just have this one thing. Like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah. But he was like I was a bit annoyed because Kylie had kind of like suppressed her gift and like everything just to like please him. And I was just like, I didn't like that. But like, it wasn't completely his fault, but it just made me a bit annoyed because I just wanted Kylie to shine. And he was just like, girl, you go and burn, like for a few years at least. Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting because I think he wouldn't have minded at all her having these powers and using them as long as she was using them to like help out the business and help them out. But because she didn't really want anything to do with that and was trying to suppress her powers, like the two combined just meant it was just a mess. Just a big old mess.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Mother, oh my god, she was just like, she was like, what's it called? The Altari. She was on Altari, and they think that taming birds is a sin. She just went around being crazy, and I was just like, if I grew up with that, I would have issues too.
Yeah, they really had two bad parents. Like one who was just like straight up abusive, and the other one who was just like, "You're gonna burn in hell." Like there was no in between, and so I understand how they both grew up very, very flawed and very how they are.
I felt so bad for Bryson though when he finally thought he had this one thing of like he has, this connection with the ghost eagle because the ghost eagle saved him, and Kylie's just there like,
that was me.
Hi, that was me too. It's just like, oh, you took him like.
And then 2 minutes later, he found out about Damien, and immediately he was like, all of my life, all my happiness just left my body. Like,
he was not having a good time.
No, I was like, oh, Bryce.
The thing I'm very intrigued to see in the sequels, because I said I've not read them, but I've heard people saying, is obviously Niall, adorable, love Niall.
Yes.
I've seen people mentioning in later books that Kylie is like canon Ace or Arrow. And so I'm very intrigued to see that. And I'm really hoping there's like possibly not a relationship there, because obviously Niall is utterly in love with her.
I thought really there would be endgame.
They might be. I don't know. I've not read it, but I'm pretty sure I've heard that Kylie's is Ace Arrow rep. So
and it would make sense that she is by some of the things that she says in this book. She was like, I don't even want a relationship, never thought of it, don't really care. Yeah. So it makes sense that could be endgame, but then also makes sense that something happens in the second book. And so I can see it both.
I just imagine them getting together, then he would die, actually. Like, that's what
that would be so sad.
That's like a theory I have.
I'm not gonna lie, that would kind of make sense.
That would make a lot of sense, yeah.
I don't know. It's just the vibe you get. It's like he would be a character the author would kill, because there's like this thing with YA authors, they do think they have to kill someone in the last book. Like they don't have to, but they do it anyway. Like always someone has to die, but like he's seen like the character who would die. Yeah. I don't know.
And it would make sense it would be Niall or Jowen. It would make sense.
But I don't think it would be Jowen, because I think he would end up with Bryce.
No, I feel
because
like
Damien already died. I can't kill the other one.
Just screw up Bryce even more.
Are we completely sure Damien is dead, or did we just see him fall? Because there's a part I can't remember.
Is this like a Disney falls to death, where we just assume they died because we didn't really see it?
No, I think he died.
I think he may have done. I just can't remember. I feel like we did see him like broken at the bottom of a cliff or something.
Yeah, I think we saw that. And then Bryson was like, "Oh,
I just really don't want him to just like reappear in book 3 or some shit." Like,
I hate that. I hate it. I hate it when people just appear. But yeah,
I'm intrigued to see what happens with Niall's character, because I really like Niall as a character, and I feel like there's a lot more to see from him.
Yeah. I don't know why, but he reminds me of like Newt in the Maze Runner. I don't know if you guys have. Yeah, but like, he's played by someone called Thomas Brody Sangster, and I love him. Yeah. And I imagine him as him. I don't know why. And now it's like stuck in my mind. So that's like my fan casting.
No,
that makes me, yeah.
The whole time
honestly,
No,
you go.
I know I said the whole time I was reading the book, I imagined Niall as Niall Horan for the entire time. I don't know why. And the fact that he was a himbo, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
The whole book, I was like, that's him. Makes sense.
I'm definitely closer to the Thomas Brody Sangster. I didn't have anyone particular in mind, but the kind of person I was picturing was very much Thomas Brody Sangster. But at the same time, I feel like I would pretty much fan cast anyone as Thomas Brody Sangster at this point. He's just a solid actor.
That's cool though. I am curious though, did you guys suspect that Damien was not all he seemed to be at the beginning? Or was that a surprise that he was working
No,
with
I instantly disliked him, but I think it's because we're in Kylie's head and she dislikes him and doesn't trust him. And that made me like, I don't trust him either. So like, yeah. But I don't know if he had like Kylie's, if he didn't have Kylie's perspective, if I would have thought the same.
Yeah.
Like I still wouldn't have loved him, but it's very difficult to assess as well, like how I initially felt about him, because obviously I went into this already knowing he's an absolute arse.
Oh yeah.
I've read it before. So like, I feel like my initial thoughts were like, ugh, it's him. But that's because there's probably part of my brain that's like, yeah, no, we don't like him. Stay away. I feel like even from Bryson's perspective, there was enough like context clues of him, even not necessarily being as like truly evil as he is, but just not being a good person.
Yeah.
I feel like that came across quite early.
Yeah, because I think it was like, oh, we fought and then he didn't talk to him, but then he came back to him and they fucked or whatever. Like he mentioned a few times that they wouldn't talk to each other for a bit. So it seemed like, yeah, like it just seemed shady.
Yeah.
I was just like, this relationship doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Yeah, to me it sounded like it was a toxic relationship, but then when it mentioned that like Damien bet against him, I'm like, ooh, that's shady. I was like, why would you do that to your mans?
Because he didn't believe in him.
Literally. And I was like, you don't believe in your mans? At least take the fall. And I was like, So I was like, that's
evidence that I watch too much TikTok. The sound just going through my head right now is this recent of like, I'm picking up really sketch vibes, just going through my head. Like literally the second you see Damien walk onto the page, it's just, I don't know.
It's like that.
And also, I can see this. Like, it's so evident that something's going to happen there that you can be like, something's going to have to break him and Damien up.
Yep, that's true. Especially, with the introduction of Jowen. I was like, I see it. I was like, that's like cute.
He was like drowning and then he came out of the water and he was like, drink my blood. I was like, are we like vampires now?
I was like, I was like, you're obviously in love with him because I would not let people drink my blood like that.
Yeah, and then like obviously that's pretty impactful then, but then when the Owl Mother turns up and it's like you've literally just chosen to like get yourself evicted from here because of that, and it's just like sacrifice. Oh my god. Oh
my god, he was like the little brother to like the family, the Tamir family, like the gangsters. I'm calling them the gangsters. But yeah, did what's it called? Gorin? Did he die or did he just get pooped a bit upon? Gorin was the big guy who broke Damien's foot.
Because now I don't remember.
So many characters. I feel like this is my one criticism of this book. I had it the first time and I've had it again this time. Is there's so much detail with the whole Altari thing and with all the characters, with all the different like gangs and all of that it's actually almost slightly hard to follow. When you're reading it, it's okay. But I found this the first time. As soon as I'd put it down, I was like, I don't think I could tell you exactly who was who and how it all linked together. And I'm having the same now. Like I read this 3 weeks ago and part of me is like, I need to reread it before reading the sequel. I'm like, it should stick a little bit longer than that. That is my one criticism, is it's almost very slightly too complex for its own good.
Yeah. I wrote down the names as I was reading because I was like, I will never remember these names. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a syndrome of like, we know that the world's going to get better in the later books, but they need to lay in a certain amount. But since we don't have the full picture, it seems very complicated.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what I mean? I was like, it'll be explained later. But if it's not explained later, that'll be a fault of this series.
Yeah.
When did this get released?
By the sequel, I feel like a character list. 2018 it came out.
Yeah. So I didn't.
I feel like a character list would be really useful in these books.
Oh yeah, because there's a map that did not help me
there a map?
whatsoever, but there's not a character list.
See, I didn't even realize there was a map because when I first read it, I read the arc, which I don't think has a map, unless I just remembered wrong. But I don't think it does.
Yeah, I see like this map just isn't that helpful, at least when I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. It's funny because I like ordered this like right after it was released because I fell in love with this cover and I heard it was like an
cover.
Like it was wrap. So I bought it immediately. Of course I didn't read it at once because what are we? We are book orders. But yeah, so I'm surprised I read it like in 2019. I thought it was released much earlier and I used ages to get to it because that's what I did.
Yeah, no, I read it before it came out because I had an arc, basically a convention. There was like this table where if you buy a book then you can like take a free arc, and I was like, I'd seen Adam Silvera talking about it a lot.
Yeah,
and
same.
I was like, I'm really intrigued because I trust Adam Silvera, and so read it and loved it, and then got an arc of the second one by trading for it and still haven't read it. So I need to finish the series this time.
I just really also just like the cover. Like it's just a cover that drags me in. And like just when I saw it, I like wanted it.
And they all go together so well. Which
Look at this.
I don't have the
so pretty
anymore, but
my one criticism though, which is not a useful criticism, is the first two are like matte covers. Third one, where is it? Shiny.
No, really? I don't want it. I don't want it.
UK one, or is it like all of them?
There isn't a UK one, so it's all
there isn't a UK one.
That's annoying.
Because I can feel like these are like matte. I hate it.
Like the matte.
I hate it.
I don't know. I like matte covers.
Yeah, the third one's shiny, so you've got that to look forward to, which is so annoying.
Maddie, I will never buy the first. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I'll wait for the own paperback and then buy them all again. No.
Yeah, the paperback will have a map. I had an arc, which was pre-released, so it didn't have the map yet, which is fine. And also,
makes sense.
Absolutely, they're stunning books.
Oh yeah, very pretty. I love it. Let's see. Is there anything? I don't know. I'm trying to think. What do you guys think about the I almost call them the Owl Sisters. That's not their name.
Owl Mothers.
Owl Mothers.
Owl Sisters, yeah. Owl Mothers. What do you guys think about the Owl Mothers?
I thought that was really interesting. I feel like that was the one time, even on reread, I was like properly shocked by the book. I really thought they were like not going to be evil.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously they were. I can't even remember in what way though. My brain's just forgotten everything that happened in this book. But yeah, I was quite surprised by that twist.
But they weren't evil because they came back in the end and helped them.
Nah, they weren't good though either.
No, because like what happened was that like first they were there and then like they tried to like keep Kylie. She wasn't allowed to go on, and then they escaped. But then they made the Owl Mothers and like the Tamir family sister fight each other while they went on. And then later the survivors met again in the village, and then one of the Owl Mothers was there, and she convinced Kylie and like the other like minister dude to go to the Sky Tower. So like she's still kind of going to work with them.
I feel like it's all ulterior motive though. They're doing that because that will help them, not because they can.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they're nice, but like they weren't like we're gonna murder you kind of.
Yeah. Like if Kylie wasn't not the chosen one, then they would have killed them all. They would have.
Oh yeah. True.
They tried.
Yeah, they really tried. They almost like decapitated. Cut off Bryson's hand.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I thought I accidentally read that they did, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I read it at first that they had, and then they hadn't, obviously.
Yeah, and then there was like a whole chapter part, and I was like, oh no, we gotta go to the seat. I was like skimming that part as fast as I could.
I'd say for these as well, like I actually really appreciated how it didn't hold back. I feel like compared to a lot of YA, it was quite not even graphic, but
dark,
realistic, I guess, that these things are bloody and messy and not just like skirted over.
Yeah. Like I was genuinely surprised that we saw some of the abuse that Bryson got from his dad, where it was like, and I was like, oh, that was a little dark. Okay. Like I wasn't expecting it, you know?
Yeah.
Because usually we just feel like just mention that it happened, but it was kind of like we really got a lot of mentions of his scars and his burns and all that.
I thought that I saw people talk in the Discord that said that they didn't like kind of the animal abuse and stuff, but like I didn't really like feel like I don't like animal abuse either. I don't like when animals die for no reason in books, like that the dog always dies, for example. I don't like that trope at all. But here it just felt like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I feel like they did care about animals. It's just some people who were like stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
I do kind of agree though that like it didn't bother me too much, but the whole concept of like forcing animals to fight each other was a bit like
yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit, I don't know. It was a bit
but they were like bonded to the people fighting. So they fought each other and the animals fought each other. It was not like people just watching animals fight each other. It's not completely the same.
Yeah, it was it felt like Pokemon to me in a kind of a way, but like more of the trainers fighting, if that makes sense. So that's how I kind of came at this book, is we all have our own Pokemons and like we're just fighting with it. That's how it felt to me.
It's interesting as well because obviously we didn't see other people's perspectives, but I feel like Bryson is obviously really connected. Was it Shara?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of other people see their birds as significantly more expendable and like less connected to. And so I feel like, I don't know, just interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not everybody has that same connection with their bird as Bryson.
Yeah, same with people in real life though. Like people getting a pet, some people don't care about the pets at all, and some people it like needs a lot.
Yeah, it just felt realistic.
Yeah.
I guess
someone said in the comments, wasn't it called a sky castle? Probably. I said a sky tower because
similar. A castle has a tower.
Same shit.
We'll find out more in book 2, but I think it's Sky Castle. Not that I remember anything apparently that happened past the halfway mark in this book, it seems.
It's my favorite book, but I don't remember anything. That's me.
Well, this is why I needed to reread it before reading the sequel the first time. Now I feel like I've just done the exact same thing, even though I read it a few weeks ago. I'm not sure why. My brain's just given up on me.
But but it's also like a really quick read, right? I read it in like one day. Oh, did I?
Yeah,
2 days? I don't even remember. Yeah.
I read the first 100 pages over a couple of days because I was busy, but then I sat down one evening and just read like the last 300 in one go.
Yeah. So it's like a super quick read. But like it managed to pack so much into it. So that's really good. And, I love it.
I feel like it did a really good job of, as you say, packing a lot in, being a really quick and like engaging read, but it never felt rushed. Like I didn't feel like, oh my god, that happened way too fast, other than capturing the ghost eagle, but we'll let that slide.
I feel like
it's just like No, you can go.
Oh no, I was gonna say I feel like this is a good like getting out of a slump book, or like one of those good transition books where it's just like it's fast, it's easy to read, and it's engaging. And then you got more books in the series, so it's even better.
I feel like it's a really good level of fantasy for that as well, where like it takes you out of your own world, but it's not like intense to try and learn their world because it's fundamentally pretty similar.
Yeah. Except like
the blood,
the magic and drinking blood, and
it was like very minimal then compared to like some other books, for example, we've read in this.
That's why I also like love, I guess, just like fantasy in general, because you have like mundane things, like not mundane things, what to call, but like problems that we have in our world, like Barton's abuse is like people have that in our world. There's a lot of it, and then you set it in this fantasy setting, and they deal with their trauma, but like with magic as well. And that's why like I love fantasy more than like fiction books, because then it's like not that those can't be good either, but you got the point.
This is my favorite kind of level of fantasy, somewhere between like urban fantasy and this, where it's, as you say, feels really tangible, deals with a lot of real world stuff in a very familiar way, but does have like magical elements just kind of thrown in for shits and giggles. Like that's what I really enjoy versus like massive high political fantasy where everything's a battlefield. Like this is more my vibe.
That's my love. I'm gonna find a huge one for this. Just you wait.
Yeah,
you keep trying and we keep just not reading them.
That's true.
You hate me.
Now you
cancel this club. They're mean. No.
Not they're mean.
Also, I think Sandra and I are planning to buddy read the sequel in June. If Cecilia is possibly going to join us, I don't know if you own the second book yet.
I can
or
get
when you would get to it.
I have a free book credit on Thrift Books. Let's go.
So I'm not above in the Discord us making like a channel, or we can just continue it in the Black Wings Beating one. If anyone else in the club wants to continue to read the series with us, I'm very down for us just continuing to chat about it in Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm going to read it in June anyway, because I need to fill my LGBT TBR, and this is like one of the LGBT books I own.
Yeah,
and I'm just
I've got it.
Yeah.
I have it very, very tentatively on May, but I also have like 8 more books to read this month, so I'm not seeing that happening. So it's going to get pushed back to June, realistically.
Yeah, I'll probably put it in my June TBR too.
Someone said the second book had a map. Is it not the same map? It's the same.
Oh, it's the same? Yeah. I assume it was going to be like a bigger map, because I assume we're going to go more than just...
No, I need to compare. Wait. I need to look in both my books. No, it's completely the same.
Oh, that's lame.
See, I never look at maps. However big, fantasy, whatever it is, I never look. I just trust if you need to know where you're going to be, they'll tell you.
Yeah. I usually look at the very beginning and at the very end because I'm curious. You know what I mean? Being like, oh, that's what it is. But I never look throughout the story.
Yeah. I always look at the beginning to be like, ooh, pretty map. And then never look at it again.
Yeah. I do think based off its map. If it has an ugly map, I'm like, I might not like this book. If you didn't put thought into the map, did you put thought into the story? That's where my brain goes.
But they don't make the map usually, though. Like, they have other people making the maps for them.
True. But, no. That's where my brain goes in the moment.
I think this... I was just going to say, I think this ends in a cliffhanger for sure. And then, like, in the third book, we would be like, oh, yeah. That was all. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, talking about maps, like, it always makes me laugh because as I said, I never look at them. I don't rely on them at all. When I first read Priory, I read the Ark, which doesn't have a map. And I saw so many people being like, this book is unintelligible without the map. The map's not helpful. I was like, my copy didn't have a map and it was fine. Like, I don't know. I just never use them. I don't understand how. Yeah, I thought to be fair, I have no sense of direction. Like,
same.
I couldn't draw you a map of my country, so I just go with the flow. I don't do maps.
I look at maps like sometimes, but I'm sometimes just not bothered flipping back and forth because like it ruins the flow. Like if you're reading, you don't want to look back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like the problem with us all liking this is we don't have that much to say.
Yeah, we are just
we
like,
all
we are dumb.
really enjoyed it.
It was like, it was good. Yeah.
Good book. We want to read the rest.
We could recommend another queer read.
Oh yeah.
Since we have time.
Oh my god, what the hell have I read recently?
Let me get my list.
I'm ready, so I can just go.
All right, you can go for yours.
You go. I'm going to go on a hunt.
Sounds good.
So, I read the first book of May was A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara.
I have that on my TBR.
And I don't have really words. Like, it's a adult fiction book, which I never read, but I had this for 1 billion years. Sorry, I got confused by the comments, but we can take that afterwards. And yeah, it just follows, everyone says it follows a group of 4 people who has been like friends since college, and we follow them through their life. But basically, I don't think we follow 4 friends, we follow basically the main 2. What are you doing, Maddie? You look terrified. Either way. And this is probably the most depressing book I have ever read. Like, it's utterly devastating and depressing, and everything in it is just horrible and sad. But it was amazing. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, it was really depressing, and it's like trigger warning for like rape and pedophilia and self-harm and suicide.
That's a lot.
Just all the horrible things you can think about. But like, it broke my heart, and I didn't cry as much as I thought I would. But like, it was just so depressing. So if you're having a bad day, do not read this book. Like, you will be so sad. There's like no point. But yeah, I give it 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, it was also very much gay. Like, yeah, that was it. I'm done.
All right, I was letting Maddie know that she can unmute.
Maddie looks
Sorry, I have avoided
terrified.
a synopsis of this book for so many years. I'm so determined to know nothing about it. And you were like, "Oh, follows 4 friends," and I was like,
I always said to follow 4 friends. That was it.
That's all you heard.
and it's just like, I'm saying, I don't want to know. I want to know nothing. So I'm just going to mute you and sit here and vibe.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I don't know what it is about that book. I've just gone so long knowing nothing. I'm like, I want to just go in so blank. And so every time someone talks about it, I just like skip through that bit of the video.
That's funny. Oh, all right. Did you want to go or do you want me to go?
I don't mind. Up to you.
Okay. So the book I read was a romance novella, and it was so good. It was the first one. It's not the first in the series. It's like 2.5, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it, and I highly recommend. It was Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole, which is part of the Reluctant series. Yeah, I was like, the series always interested me, and I saw it on audiobook. It was like for 4 hours, and I'm like, you know what? I am not doing anything right now. Let me sit and listen to it. It was so good. It was so good. I gave it a 5-star. So it's pretty much like it's a novella in the series. So it follows some of the characters that you see in the first book, but you don't need to read the first book. Well, I don't know. I haven't read the first book, but I didn't need to understand what was happening based off the first book because it doesn't really go into the relationship. But it pretty much follows like Lugosi, and she is a bodyguard for a prince from a different land, but she's in New York because he's fallen in love with a girl. And while she was there last time, she had like a whirlwind, like week-long romance with a girl. But then randomly the girl was like, no, I don't want to be with you. Goodbye. And so it's been a year and she was heartbroken about it. But they're on the subway and she looks over and she sees her. And she's like, oh, crap. And it shows flashbacks before of like their week-long romance a year before. And then it shows them working through and like reconnecting, and it's so good. It was so good. I was like, some of the things they said to each other, I'm like, if anyone told me that, I'd fall in love immediately. Because something
I need to read this.
Lugosi, I have it on my wish list.
It's so good. Lugosi calls her goddess, and she's like, oh, goddess, and I'm like, I was sitting there like fangirling and like,
we should all call Cecilia goddess now.
She was calling like my goddess, and I'm like, it was so good. So if you just want like a fast, like love-filled, like lesbian romance, I so recommend.
Was it steamy?
Gonna go by that.
It was steamy. They had a really good sex scene at the end. I was like, ooh, okay.
I'm gonna go buy that on my Kindle as soon as we're done with this live.
It's so good. Please.
I'm excited. I have 2. I have a contemporary and a dystopia, which I want to talk about. So, contemporary, Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. This is such good fun. I had a very, very fun time reading this. So, quick plot. This follows Darcy, who runs almost like an agony aunt at her school. There's like an anonymous locker you can put letters in, and she responds to them and like helps people with relationship stuff. And she is painfully in love with her best friend, and Darcy's bi, best friend's lesbian. Painfully in love, nothing's ever going to happen, whatever. And then this guy finds out that she runs this anonymous agony aunt and approaches her like, I will pay you a lot of money if you can coach me to get back with my ex. And then like, who does she end up with? I don't know. It's so good. Ooh. It's so much fun. And there's lots of drama. And it toed the line perfectly between like fun, fluffy rom-com and actually dealing with some decently heavy stuff. So strongly recommend. And then a book I finished last night and is very different in tone is The Outrage by William Hussey.
That's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
I was like, that looks really gay. I'm into it.
Very gay. This is an LGBT dystopia. It's set in the UK in like 50-ish years in the future from now, where basically a dictatorial leader has come in and reverted all rights that LGBT people have, as well as lots of other minorities and all sorts, and basically just destroyed the country. Damn. And you're following a group of LGBT teens who are like trying to kind of fight back / kind of just trying to survive in this world. And it's a lot of talk about like, you can say that it's not allowed as much as you want, but like people are still going to do shit. Like, good luck to you. But also survival. And it's a good book. It's very interesting, fun, fast paced. But then there's a 4-page afterword by the author at the end, and I was weeping the afterward.
Not weeping.
because it's this whole thing about how, you know, in the UK we're all very privileged that LGBT rights are pretty good here, but they are on a knife edge. Like this is a thing that could happen. It could revert that fast and that suddenly. And also that's coming from a place where it's pretty good, let alone countries where they don't even have these rights yet. And just like, oh, very good message. I'm just bloody glad teenagers are reading this nowadays. It makes me happy. And it comes out like next week.
Arcs?
Hmm?
Or those 2 arcs?
Perfect on Paper is not. This is, but it comes out in 5 days. So.
Oh, okay. So pretty much.
I just added everything to my wish list, and
I know,
I
I'm
hate you
gonna add
guys
that.
because I don't want this. Stop.
Surprisingly, that first book sounds kind of similar to Sex Education, the TV show. And I
yes.
was like, I'm sold.
Yeah, same.
Hugely similar vibes, and that is one of my favorite shows ever.
I
was
love
like-
it so much.
Once you said like a column, and I was like, oh, all right, cool. I'm at it.
Literally, it feels very close to Sex Education, but I love that show, so I don't mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna add those both to my TBR. Sounds good.
I think
I added
the biggest
everything to my wish list.
I think the biggest difference between like Sex Education and Perfect on Paper is Sex Education is very like sexual relationships based. This is much more like the emotional side of relationships, which was really interesting, like attachment styles and like how people feel in relationships. It's actually quite interesting. The weird little like bits of the column you got was cool.
Okay, I like that. I'm into it. Cute.
Yeah.
It was a fucking adorable romance as well. I was dying.
Oh.
Okay.
We should probably hype our next read. I don't know if anyone has it yet. I've not received my copy yet.
I got it. Oh, let me get it.
Oh, why am I a month ahead?
Did you skip?
That one.
Did you skip again?
I was absolutely talking about
Maddie
Ravenous
moved
Dark.
to June again.
This is our next read. I am a month ahead.
I was like, I
Oh my
thought you had it already.
But I kept doing
I do.
that.
I've had it since like December.
I kept doing that last year, like last month too. I skipped a Darker Hole of Star all the time, like because I skipped a month ahead, kind of. Like I don't know why it's like a thing.
Keep thinking I'm gonna forget to read this. So I'm not careful. I'm gonna read it Ravenous Dark when it arrives and completely forget this. I don't know what has happened.
We're gonna put it in this like, yeah, we have a week left. And you're gonna be like, what?
Yeah. We're reading The Never Tilting World or in Geppetto, which Cecilia, do you want to try and summarize? Because I feel like I cannot summarize this book well.
Okay, well, what I do know about this is that it's a world, and the world is separated. One has like all the sunlight. That's not helpful. And the other one has no sunlight. So like one is kind of like really hot and deserty because it has all the light. And then the other one is like a frozen wasteland because it has no light. And they're both, the rulers of both lands are sisters. That's all I know.
I'm laughing because I meant to say Sandra. Do you want to summarize this? I'm really sorry. I just threw it.
And I was like, let me try.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I said it and then you started speaking and I was like, oh, I definitely just said the wrong name.
You said Cecilia. I was just like, you go.
And I was like, I mean, I guess.
I
said it and I was like, why Cecilia? Oh, I said Cecilia.
But you did so well because I didn't know that. I don't know anything.
That's what I got.
I just wanted to read it.
No, that's what I got from the flap. It was just like it says divides the planet, one sided cloaked in perpetual night, the other scorched beneath an unrelenting sun. So I did it a more stupid way to say that, but
can we talk about how the cover is really cool? Like
it really gives off that
pretty.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very pretty.
But yeah, have you guys read any other Rin Geppetto?
No, but I want to read all of their books. Genuinely, I do.
I DNF'd the Bone Witch, but that's because I wasn't in the mood at the moment. So this wasn't the book, that was me. So I'll probably come back.
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm sorry. Okay? I'm just that kind of reader who DNFs all the time. Okay.
I read a whole Bone Witch trilogy and it's so good. And then I read like the 100 Names from Magic, and that was really, really fun. And I want to read like The Girl in the Well or whatever it's called, like the horror duology.
Oh, I DNF'd that one as well.
Okay, let's not DNF this one.
No, but I know why, because that one felt very, very typical like 2007 YA, and I was not wanting it. And I was
2007 YA is like my life. Like when I read it, I'm just like sitting there like, this is so shit, but I love it.
No, but now since we've been reading the City of Bones series, now I'm like, maybe I'm in the mood.
Yeah, Cecilia and I and 2 other friends have been buddy reading Mortal Instruments, and we are just like, this is so 2007, but we are having a great time.
We're on the 3rd book right now. Oh my gosh. I still got to read today's pages, but that.
Same.
One day I will read that series, but I've said that many times, so we'll see.
Just
Yeah,
be prepared that the first book feels like you're reading like a book. Like, it hasn't aged well.
Yeah, no, it
I've read the first
ones.
one a few times. I most recently read the first one like last year, and I quite enjoyed it. I got halfway through the second one about 4 times and never got through it.
No, the
second one was.
I gave it 2 stars. I gave it 2 stars. The second one.
So. Yeah, okay. This is why I keep DNFing it, I think. But I
the
third one is
like the 12th book is the problem.
The first book, the first time I read the second book, I gave it 5 stars, and now we reread it, I gave it like 3.
Yeah, I reread it. I was like, why is that plot line so prevalent?
Also, to answer this,
yes,
I don't know when the live show will be. I'm going to be an absolute fucking nightmare because my June is a bit insane. So we do need to have a chat about when we're going to put the live show, because basically I'm going to be really, really unhelpful. So we'll let you know.
Mm-hmm. We'll figure it out. We will tweet about it though as soon as we figure it out.
Yes, we'll.
Basically, didn't they ask if like they could read it in the start of the month because they wanted to add it to whatever-thon? So if you
can probably get away with that. I would be surprised if we put it.
I'll be surprised if we put it on the 1st of the month.
Yeah, but it's also just, I think, a really easy read. Like, all Winter Pecco is just breeze. It's a breeze.
Cool.
Yeah, I think so. Not that it's bad.
I would be surprised if the live show is like at the end of May instead of the beginning of June, because that's in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I imagine it'll probably be in.
It's not the shortest of books.
Yeah.
No.
It's like 475, 79, whatever ish.
You should be definitely safe to get away with it in the first week of June.
Yeah.
Also, we should just mention that the June book is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. something. Yeah. But none of us have a copy yet because
I'm waiting for Lumacrate, so it should come in the next few days, but I don't have it yet.
I need to.
And then in June, we will probably announce the next books for the next months.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Probably the next live, then, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah, we need to decide them first.
Yeah, we're going to do that afterwards.
You're right.
It might be useful.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
On that note, though, we should probably wrap up for today.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of you who read Black Wings Beating. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we will see you next time on Sandra's channel. Get the right name this time for Never Tilting Rock. I think this is the first time we've all had the physical books.
I know. I'm usually the one who doesn't have them because I'm like, I got it from the library and I already returned it. But
this is a very satisfying photo of us all holding them up.
Yeah. Someone take a screenshot.
Literally just like.
Now my neck is falling off. Anyway. Screenshots.
Right.
I will go back in a live and post a screenshot afterwards.
Yes.
For sure.
Right. We will see you all sometime next month and in the Discord in the meantime.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.